This is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Bentinho Massaro? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of Bentinho Massaro, then offer my analysis. Bentinho Massaro was born in Amsterdam on March 13, 1988. He grew up in a middle-class neighborhood where he had experienced some poverty. Bentinho's parents were interested in topics like spirituality and self-help. They had a particular interest in a self-help program called the Silva Method, which is designed to heighten awareness and teach people how to be clairvoyant. When he was young, his parents enrolled Bentinho in this program. He also studied neurolinguistic programming, a pseudoscientific psychotherapy. Bentinho spent time in India, where he studied meditation and yoga. Bentinho eventually came to the conclusion that all of the spiritual gurus in the world were no more enlightened than he was. He became a self-proclaimed spiritual guru. He returned to the Netherlands and started a YouTube channel in 2010. Bentinho had a good deal of success on social media and would travel around the world attending seminars and giving retreats. By 2016, he had moved to Boulder, Colorado. He established a movement that he called Trinfinity and started Bentinho Massaro TV, which is a subscription service where he promotes his New Age beliefs. The whole idea behind Bentinho's new spiritual movement was that he was going to lead all of humanity to a higher plane of enlightenment by the year 2035. He was able to do this because he was an upper density being. To form his belief system, Bentinho essentially copied the law of attraction theory that is popular in the New Age movement. This theory says that thoughts are pure energy. Positive thoughts attract positivity, and negative thoughts attract negativity. Therefore, by thinking positively and avoiding negative thoughts, a person can obtain enlightenment, money, fame, fake spiritual guru status, or whatever they want. Bentinho promoted New Age spiritual retreats that cost up to $5,000 a person. He spent $10,000 a month on Facebook advertising to attract attendees. A few of his followers became concerned about Bentinho's teachings and talked about running his movement without him. In response to this rebellion, he moved to Sedona, Arizona. This is the same place where the spiritual guru James Arthur Ray committed negligent homicide by allowing people to get overheated and die in a sweat lodge. Interestingly, James Arthur Ray was also a big fan of the law of attraction. In his case, however, it worked a little differently. The law attracted him to prison. Moving back to Bentinho, in Sedona, he gave talks at a local arts center and expanded his social media presence. He would post images on Instagram where he was smoking cigars and exercising. He tried to highlight his physical attractiveness to bring more followers. He was extremely successful. As is the case with a number of spiritual gurus, many of his followers worked for him for free, which made it easy for Bentinho to make money. On December 9, 2018, a 34-year-old man named Brent Wilkins brought an end to his own life in Sedona. He had been a member of Bentinho's spiritual community. Brent's parents believed that the community was a cult, and this contributed to their son's death. The police investigated and found a video-recorded lecture where Bentinho suggested that people struggling with their faith should bring an end to their own lives. While this didn't look too good for Bentinho, no charges were ever filed against him in this case. Bentinho surprised many of his followers when he did not demonstrate remorse after Brent's death. His reaction left people confused and upset. Once again, with some of his followers questioning his judgment, Bentinho packed up his belongings and left. He claimed that people had threatened to kill him. After fleeing Sedona, Bentinho traveled to many different locations. Based on his social media posts, he was in places like the Caribbean, Egypt, the Netherlands, South Africa, and Ecuador. It's not clear where he ended up or if he ever reestablished his community in one specific location. As far as I know, Bentinho continues to operate his business from somewhere, presumably on the planet Earth, and functions as a spiritual guru. He maintains his social media presence, operates his subscription-based streaming service, he has various retreats, and runs his online school for enlightenment and empowerment. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts in a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Bentinho claims that he is not human, rather he is actually an alien. He has lived on various planets and shifted to parallel realities. He has generously incarnated on the planet Earth to help people. Again, he wants to bring the world to enlightenment by 2035. He appears in human form so people will believe that they are equal to him, but of course, he is actually vastly superior to humans. Appearing to be equal gives him more freedom to express himself without crossing the cosmic boundaries of free will, which is another way of saying absolutely nothing. Which brings me to item number 2. Like every spiritual guru, Bentinho talks in circles. He uses a bunch of terms like vibrations, positivity, transformation, enlightenment, finding oneself, manifesting, metaphysical, oneness, connection, awakening, unity, human potential, and transcendence. It's convenient for Bentinho to create sentences with these words because the order really doesn't matter. A random word generator would demonstrate wisdom equal to Bentinho. That is, both of their wisdom levels would be set at 0. Item number 3. Bentinho believes that he is the most superior spiritual guru in the world. He said that he was more spiritually evolved than Jesus Christ. Bentinho criticizes other spiritual gurus like Eckhart Tolle, saying that they are promoting nonsense. In reality, many of the spiritual gurus promote nonsense, including Bentinho. When people push back on his superiority, Bentinho responds by saying that his teachings are so advanced, other people cannot understand them. So he has all this advanced knowledge, but he's not advanced in the way he communicates. I'm not sure he thought that one through. In a way, Bentinho is suggesting that people may believe that they're looking at something which is nonsensical, but this only proves how they were not enlightened. His position to anyone watching him is that if something he does upsets them, then they are not free or enlightened. He is simply a mirror exposing all their flaws. Everything that people think about him is actually what they think about themselves. I don't know about Bentinho being a master of spirituality, but he makes a good case for being a master of gaslighting. Item number 4. Bentinho has invested in many conspiracy theories. He believes the government is in contact with aliens, there is a new world order of evil masterminds, and the government is suppressing technology. He appears to be a fan of David Icke, a well-known conspiracy theorist who believes in alien lizard humanoids. Believing in conspiracy theories is important for cults because it keeps the followers fearful of the government and not focused on what the cult leader is doing. The fear makes his followers seek protection from him. He is now their savior from the big bad forces of the evil government. Item number 5. Bentinho believes that he has a number of magical abilities. He can control the weather, he has telekinetic abilities, he can teleport, bilocate, and levitate. This must save him a ton of money on air travel. Item number 6. Bentinho encourages his followers to disconnect from their family and friends. He suggested that relationships mean nothing. People should not care about their family, children, or romantic partners. This makes Bentinho the same as just about every other cult leader who has ever lived. Keeping followers isolated from support makes it easier to take advantage of them. Item number 7. Bentinho uses manipulation to lower the self-esteem of his followers. One of the group exercises in his belief system involves followers criticizing each other, specifically highlighting areas of deficiency. In addition, Bentinho seems to have a particular fascination with followers revealing information about their traumatic experiences. One possible reason for this would be he wants to keep an inventory of their weaknesses. Item number 8. Bentinho appears to be fascinated with helping his female followers lose weight. He told them that they should lose weight because there were toxins in their fat cells. He encouraged them to fast using grape juice. He claimed that as their bodies became lighter, their density would decrease, which meant they could enter into enlightened areas. I guess like they would float up into these enlightened areas. I think Bentinho is confusing the word lighten and enlighten. If somebody loses weight, they become lighter. They don't become enlightened. When thinking about this for a moment, now Bentinho's ability to levitate makes sense. He can do this because he's enlightened. I think his weight loss beliefs fit with the whole idea that he runs a cult. Like people who don't eat well become more vulnerable. Bentinho also has unusual beliefs about sleep schedules his followers should use. He thought they should break up their sleep into shorter time periods. So not only were they failing to eat well, they were failing to sleep properly. Again, this all leads to vulnerability. It makes them easier to manipulate. Item number 9. Bentinho's had a number of romantic relationships with his female followers. He seems to have some boundary problems, or as he would call them, cosmic boundary problems. Some of his followers said that he would tell them that having sex with him was a form of therapy. It would resolve their trauma. In addition, followers who had sex with him obtained special status in the community. Bentinho was described as attempting to dominate and control women in his community. In addition to having sex with his followers, he believed that all the members should have multiple sexual partners. Bentinho's beliefs regarding sex are consistent with a cult. Item number 10. One of Bentinho's followers said that Bentinho asked her for a loan of several hundreds of thousands of dollars. Once she gave it to him, his attitude changed and he was no longer attracted to her. Bentinho denies ever asking for a loan. He said the money was a gift. Item number 11. One of the key components of Bentinho's teachings is that his followers need to abandon critical thinking. Scientists don't know what they're doing. The only way to find truth is through Bentinho. He tells his followers to insist on seeing only their preferred reality. Getting rid of critical thinking skills is crucial to a cult leader because critical thinking is to them as kryptonite is to Superman. Item number 12. Bentinho has been described by his followers as charismatic, genuine, and intelligent. I think most people could agree that two of those are true. He has also been described as manipulative. One of his lovers claimed that he was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, but Bentinho denies this. A person can of course have narcissistic characteristics without having the disorder. Most people who are narcissistic do not have the disorder. Many narcissists are successful, especially if they are in business for themselves. Under those circumstances, they get the most benefits from the narcissism without experiencing many of the drawbacks. Self-employment may also be the best option for Bentinho because simply finding a job may be challenging with his level of narcissism. For example, there are not many job openings out there for weather-changing, levitating aliens who can teleport. Rather, most employers are seeking non-weather-changing, non-teleporting, non-floating humans. It's incredibly discriminatory. Item number 13. Like other cult leaders, Bentinho amazes his followers, yet they can never really clearly explain why he is so fascinating. Just like Bentinho talks nonsense about vibrations, being enlightened, and aliens, his followers talk nonsense about his abilities. I think the reason for Bentinho's success is that his followers find him physically attractive and they are predisposed to having beliefs in New Age principles. I find it ironic that a cult leader who promotes the law of attraction is actually successful because of his attractiveness. Physical attraction explains a lot of human behavior, more so than many people want to admit. Moving to the last item, number 14. Does Bentinho Massaro operate a cult? In my opinion, it's pretty clear that he did, but it's not clear if he's doing that right now. Usually cults have a physical location, like they're not managed virtually, and I don't know if Bentinho has an official physical commune location. The reason I believe that at the very least he did operate a cult is because his behavior is similar to many other cult leaders. He did not have anything meaningful to say, just nonsensical platitudes. He was manipulative, dominating, controlling, and focused on the weaknesses of his followers. He had sex with his followers and allegedly claimed it was therapeutic, and some of his followers worked for free. I think the reality with cult leaders like Bentinho is that they appear because there are people out there who want to buy what they're selling. They are a symptom of a larger, poor critical thinking epidemic. Spiritual gurus have a gift for finding vulnerable people to exploit. Unfortunately, there is no shortage of potential customers available to have their wallets lightened by Bentinho, or to use the language he would prefer, have their wallets enlightened. Those are my thoughts on the case of Bentinho Massaro. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be as intriguing as employment discrimination against people who teleport while floating in a thunderstorm they created. Thanks for watching.